For years, the gaming market has been controlled primarily by AAA studios, right? None of this is new information, right? Cool. However, I'm seeing a huge swap in the industry going on. I don't know if I'm the only person, because we are actively watching studios that operate on a shoestring, paperclip, and the lint in your pocket as a budget start to gain a bigger community and bigger profits than AAA studios. Crazy, right? And in this video, I want to try and list why I think that is. It's no longer rare to hear about an indie game or small studio doing significantly better than a larger company. Mecha Chameleon, Peak, and many others have been doing something different. Let's take a look as to why. And also, quick side note, before we move on, I just want to go ahead and clarify a few things for this video. When I say indie studios, I'm referring to indie studios or smaller game companies. Reason being is because at what point does an indie company become just company? And that's too many college degrees and too much math for my marble smooth brain. Thanks for understanding. On to the video. Communication. First things first, we can immediately figure out that the communication styles of each are drastically different. Video games are created for your fan base and users to experience a rendition of your art. We all know this. However, big studios have been getting away with just talking at its customers. For example, hey, we see you playing this game right now, and we have decided to make a change that ruins the majority of the game for everyone. And no, we don't care about your feedback at all. Thank you for talking with us. You see how in that example, I didn't really communicate anything. I just told you what it is. Now, if we look at indie studios, we can see an almost immediate swap. My favorite example is Peak. Peak has not only communicated multiple times with often humorous posts, throw up a funny video right here because I know how to edit stuff, of course.
Hey Scouts, friendship is officially over. Ever get tired of lending your slow friends who betray you a helping hand?
Be so for real right now.
Well, so are we. So we replaced it with a kick.
Wait, no, dude, it's not that deep!
Have fun.
This alone not only makes it easier to sell cosmetics and other transactions in your game, of course, given your established rapport, it also helps cut money towards marketing because the biggest market is your community. Cost. C-O-S-T-S. That's the title of this section. Now we're going to talk about something that every Twitch streamer flinches at, all right? Are you ready? I'm going to say the word. It starts with a P. Politics. Now, before you click off the video, just understand that across the board, everything costs more in 2026. Doesn't matter where on a political spectrum you are. From computer parts to groceries, life itself has gotten way more expensive than ever before. And with video games now costing $70, $80 respectively, it's more of an investment than ever before to buy new video games. Indie games just cost less. There's no secret. AAA games cost more. But let's look at the cost via a direct comparison. So we have like Mario Kart World, Borderlands 4, Gears of War E-Day, all costing $70. Peak, Mecha Chameleon. Peak costs $8. Mecha Chameleon costs $6, and the list goes on for indie games, of course. And now there's a huge difference. I want to go ahead and highlight this now in production size, the type of game and everything. Yes, absolutely, you're right. They all have different amounts and different efforts getting put into it, of course. However, the thing that cannot be ignored is the amount of sales and player base, because at the end of the day, your game can cost as much as you want it to. But if no one's buying it or you don't have an active player base, it makes selling your game that much harder. And it is much harder to want to try something new for $80 than it would be for $8. Yes, let us start to talk about the history. History, just to make sure that you all can understand my accent that I randomly made up. I do believe the history of video games also plays a part here as well. The consumer isn't going to forget about certain full-price video games that were in an unplayable state, but were full-priced still. And before anyone says it, I know Cyberpunk happened, all right? It's a unicorn amongst many of the games that launched. But We can still say, because of that entire era, gamers are more hesitant to buy AAA video games because of all those games that were unfinished during that time, paying full price. But when we look at the indie side of things, we can admit that indie games are great, but they're not always finished on release. However, we can always agree that indie titles are always in the most playable state that they can be at when they are released. Because at the end of the day, if an indie company releases a game that is unfinished, no one's going to give it another chance. That team doesn't have the Cyberpunk money to redo all of the marketing again. They don't have that. They have a one shot and that's it kind of thing going on, versus AAA titles where they can launch something and it'll be pretty bad, I would say, and still be okay. For example, let's look at Warner Brothers game Suicide Squad. That game cost $200 million. No one played it. No one picked it up. No one liked it. No one wanted it. Everyone said they hated the idea of it, and they still did it, released it. It was buggy, tons of balance issues, pretty much dead on release. $200 million is what was lost to Warner Brothers because of that game. So it's one of those things where you're like, hey, we have a game that is very playable, has a solid amount of content for a much cheaper price, or we have a game that no one asked for that is full price at $60 and no one likes playing it. History of things do play a part. And with Peak, my favorite example in this video, by the way, as you can tell, it came out last year, okay? Peak came out last year, June 16th, 2025. As of the recording of this audio, it is the 19th of August, 2026, or whenever the hell I decide to upload this, if I upload this, is a year, more than a year later. Peak just released their final biome. The $7 game just released its final biome update a week ago. So, with all of that being said, you can have an unfinished game but still make it playable and fun. But the unfinished game versus unfinished indie game versus an unfinished AAA game are not the same thing. Besides the title being AAA and indie games. Because, I just explained in this section. I'm not going through it again. Next section. Ah, yes. The conclusion. Now, note. There are AAA companies that do listen to the community and understand what the community wants and delivers. You have Apex Legends, Overwatch, Warframe. Although I will say I know that's not the case the entire time. I know some of that is newer, specifically with Overwatch and Apex Legends, while Warframe has just essentially been the best community game of all time. And I stand by that. But this is the part where I throw out some crazy prediction. And I really want you guys to hear me when I say this, all right? I do truly believe we will see more AAA studios close or have more layoffs due to consumers not purchasing products from a company that doesn't care about community sentiment. And I do believe indie games are going to become the new norm and we'll begin to see experimentation and more eclectic games show up. But that's just my guess. What do you guys think? Do you think I made this up? Do you agree? Please share your thoughts below and be friendly. And I guess like and subscribe. There's more videos coming. I have tons of other stuff. So, I mean, I'm here committed now. So, yeah, we're in deep. 11 years now, I guess.